time you guys played down in Atlanta, you had a pretty good game, just came up a little bit short. How much growth have you seen in yourself? And I know every week it seems like you have a matchup that's you had before, but how much growth have you seen in yourself since 2013?
I've seen a lot of growth. Feel like I'm a much improved player. Every week is a new week, and you certainly try to draw on past experiences to help make you that much better going into the next experience. But at the same time, you've got to prove yourself each and every week.
Does anything stand out to you about that game? Any memories? Do you even think about that game at all ever?
Well, I'm glad I had the experience. I think the fact that I've played there before and have been there, that familiarity I think can only help. But I remember it was a game where we were able to move the football. There were certainly some plays we wanted back, like in any game. Came down to the final drive, final play, and we came up short. And it was a tough loss, one that was frustrating. We felt like we left some plays out there, but it was a great game, and hopefully we can do a lot of good things on offense this week as well.
You look at the deep plays to Rashad Ross, Jameson Crowder on Sunday. What did you see from those on film, and how much can that help even maybe if Deshaun can't go again or when you need another deep threat on the other side?
Yeah, explosive plays are very critical to winning football games. So anytime we can get big plays in the run game or the pass game, it's going to make a big difference in our ability to get wins. So that's always going to be a point of emphasis, and we need guys who can go down the field or who can make the tough catch or who can turn a shorter completion into a big gain. When you have to go down the field, although we've been able to have good time of possession and have some long drives with a lot of plays, when you can score quickly and be explosive, it goes a long ways towards winning football games.
You guys will go against some coaches who have a good amount of familiarity with you all. What do you take from your time that you had under Kyle Shanahan? What did it help you accomplish as you were just getting used to this league?
Yeah, I came in and I didn't know what I didn't know. I was pretty clueless, and felt like I was fortunate enough to have great coaches in Coach Shanahan, Kyle, Matt LaFleur, who were able to help develop me quickly and get me ready for what is a very challenging league. And I'll always be grateful for the way they were able to develop me and the way they believed in me. And it's been good to see them have success elsewhere. But it'll be a good challenge this week.
What were some of the things that he did just to help you learn? You talked about that they did to help you as you were developing.
Well, it was everything from spending a lot of time watching cut-ups to going out and drilling, whether it was very basic drills or team drills. I always felt like Matt LaFleur, who's the QB coach now in Atlanta, did a great job of just spending time with me, staying after practice, working hard to make sure that I was as prepared as I could possibly be. And sometimes I wonder at other places if rookies, especially rookie quarterbacks who are third or fourth string guys, can get forgotten about a little bit. I felt like when I came in as a rookie, I was given a lot of attention and time and energy, and was really developed quickly as a result of the focus they put on me and on Robert.
You guys are number one in time of possession, but you haven't scored a great deal of points. They are number two in time possession. How do you balance that? I mean, your defense says they feed off of you guys. You had the ball 22 more minutes last week. They feed off of those long drives. I know you want the short drive, but how do you balance that?
I think it's important to score points. So whether you get them quickly or whether you get them on a long 15-play drive that eats the clock, you got to come away with points. And I would agree with you that too many times we probably haven't come away with touchdowns when we need to in the red zone. And that'll be a point of emphasis going forward. How can we get 6 instead of 3? Certainly time of possession is important, and when your defense isn't out there and exhausting themselves, it can make a difference in their ability to be productive when they are out there.
Kirk, what's been the biggest difference offensively on third downs for you guys? Why have you guys been so effective this year compared to last year?
I think it is a combination of things. I don't know that there's one area that stands out. I do believe another year in the system, familiarity with the concepts. I've always believed that you get what you emphasize, and I think our coaches went back and looked at last year and said we need to be better on third down. Let's emphasize that. So starting in April, when we came back, it was a point of emphasis, and when you work on something enough and emphasize it, you get the results, and I think that's happened with third down. But, it's still early. We want to be able to continue this as we now go into the second quarter of the season, if you will, and make sure it can continue.
What's the difference in practice in terms of the emphasis, like you said, what's the difference in that in translation to how much you guys have spent more on third downs compared to last year?
I think it's detailing concepts, being more familiar with what's being called, really owning the plays, and making sure that when calls come in and we're in a situation of third down, everyone, the offensive line, receivers, running backs, quarterback knows exactly what to do, and there's never coming back saying, "Oh, I thought I was supposed to do this," or "I was confused as to how to handle that." That we really can own and detail our work.
You're going into a very noisy environment, team that's playing very well. Obviously, will amp things up even more. What are some of the detailed things that you'll want to take care of to make sure that you guys are communicating properly?
You detail your snap count, you detail communication in the huddle, you detail the play clock. Making sure that when the play call comes in, you just have all the words right and make sure communication is as strong as it can be. And as long as everyone's on the same page and it has good preparation with practicing with noise this week, I think it's something that we'll be ready to handle.
Are there times where in the huddle it's hard for the guys to hear the play call from your mouth?
Yeah, there are times in the huddle at the line of scrimmage where I'm literally yelling as loud as I possibly can, and that's part of playing football and quarterback in the NFL.
Kirk, I know you talked about your footwork as being remarkably different from last year, but how have you noticed your usage of a hard count at the line of scrimmage and drawing guys off sides, and then maybe even on that final drive, another separate thing, using like a little double hitch, using a pump fake to kind of wait for somebody to get open? How have those things changed and evolved in your career?
Well, I think it's something that comes with time. When you first get into the league, there are layers of learning, and you can't be detailing your snap count if you don't even know the play. You've got to handle first things first. So that's one of the points where I make when you have continuity, when you have experience in a system, you can go to the next layer. And it ends up being the difference between winning and losing a lot of times in games because of the parity of talent within the league. So it's so important to have that continuity where you can build another layer each year, each offseason, and expand upon what you've learned. And that's where experience and playing and learning things, whether it goes good or badly for you, to have that experience makes a difference. So whether it's the snap count or progressing in your reads or movement in the pocket, all that stuff improves when you go out there and play and learn from what needs to be done better.
Kirk, a lot of times with young quarterbacks, you have, a lot of talent on the team, and it seems like this year, every week, there's new players unveiling themselves and their talents. How has that helped you? I mean, do you feel like maybe it's too many balls to go around, or is it just, the more talent that unveils itself, the easier it is for you to see the field and move the ball down the field?
Yeah, I've always felt like as a quarterback, I'm just a distributor, and as a result, I'm as good as the guys around me. And if I got great time to throw and guys are getting open and making plays, I'm going to look good. And I certainly feel like, I've just had great production around me this year. I feel like our offensive line has played really well, both in the run game and the pass game. I feel like the receivers have done an outstanding job, and running backs as well. So as a result, it makes my job that much easier. And I hope that we have, depth all season long, and hopefully as we get Deshaun back and other things like that, guys stay healthy. And the more weapons we have and the better a distributor I can be, the more games we'll be able to win.
Kirk, with the three backs, it seems each one brings something different to the offense. Actually, Matt Jones called it PSP, power, speed, and patience. What do you see each one of them brings to the offense when they're in there?
I feel like, we try to look at the differences. They're probably more similar than they are different. They all run hard. They're all smart guys. They're all great teammates. They can all catch the ball. They can all pass protect. So, they really have more in common than they do differences. They're all from Florida, from what I understand. So there you go. There's another similarity. But good football players, guys I want in the huddle with me. And I've always felt like, Chris Thompson, who's come on in the last couple of weeks, I've always felt like he could play. It was just a matter of getting out there and showing it. And I've said to him time and again that we need to get him the football more. We put him in there on third down, and he has to stick his face on linebackers and pass protect. But he can be pretty good in the passing game. So it's my job to make sure he can get the football and show people what he can do once the ball's in his hands. So, Alfred had a catch last week. Matt Jones certainly can do that as well. So, I'm excited about whoever's in there at running back. And more than anything, you want a guy who goes in there and he's a pro and he details his work, and you know that when you call the play, you can count on him to do his job. And all three of those guys do their job at a high level, and that's what comforts me.